The Baltimore Ravens made headlines this week with a bold move that sent pass rusher Odafe Oweh to the Los Angeles Chargers. It's a shift that didn't just catch fans off guard. It caught Oweh himself by surprise. And now that the dust is starting to settle, he's speaking out for the first time, revealing how it all went down and how he really felt about his time in Baltimore. Picture this. You're driving home from the facility, just coming off a routine meeting, when your phone rings, and just like that, your life changes. That's how it happened for Oweh. One moment, he's a Raven. The next, he's booking a flight to the West Coast to join a new team, a new locker room, a whole new system. He called it shocking at first. And who wouldn't be shocked? But as he settled in, emotions started bubbling to the surface, and with them came a little bit of fire. Oweh didn't hold back. He admitted that ever since contract talks fell through last season, he kind of knew his days in Baltimore were numbered. There was no extension, no clear vote of confidence from the front office, and no real sense of long-term security. That's when he said he started bracing for the inevitable. According to Oweh, he was already mentally preparing to leave, even if he wasn't exactly expecting it to happen before the trade deadline. And now that it's official, he's got something to prove. I have a little animosity on my back, he said. Not resentment in a petty way, but that chip on the shoulder kind of energy. The kind that fuels comebacks, that drives breakout seasons. Oweh said he's ready to prove who he really is, to people who actually want to see it. It was clear he felt like he couldn't fully unlock his potential in Baltimore, and now he sees Los Angeles as a clean slate. He even joked about changing jersey numbers, from 51 to 98, because he didn't like how he looked. But beyond that, he made one thing clear. This is his shot, and he's not wasting it. That raises an obvious question. What exactly couldn't be shown in Baltimore? Because let's face it, his production this season didn't exactly jump off the stat sheet. No sacks through 5 games, flashes of pressure here and there, but nothing consistent. The Ravens' defense has been, by many metrics, one of the worst in the league through the first 5 weeks. Bottom 5 in nearly every major category. And Oweh's inability to make an impact certainly didn't help change that narrative. But it's not just about stats. It's about fit. Oweh seems to believe that he just wasn't in the right system. That maybe the Ravens didn't use him in the best way or didn't give him the kind of leash he needed to grow into the role. And in some ways, it makes sense. The Chargers have long been dubbed Ravens West for good reason. General Manager Joe Hortiz, who had a big hand in Oweh's original draft process, is now in LA. There's continuity there, familiarity, and Oweh called it the perfect place to start fresh while still feeling at home. The defensive scheme might be more suited to his strengths, and he made it clear that being wanted by this staff means something. Now, whether all of that talk translates into production remains to be seen. Oweh said he's confident the pressures he's generating will eventually turn into sacks. That's always been the talking point around him. High motor, high upside, disruptive in flashes. But in the NFL, pressure without results only gets you so far. The Chargers are betting they can be the team that helps him take that next step. The Ravens, meanwhile, are moving on, and they're left with the task of filling a spot that, statistically speaking, wasn't delivering, but still represents a loss in terms of potential. Baltimore head coach John Harbaugh touched on the trade in his weekly media session, and as expected, he didn't give too much away. But there were some telling moments. When asked about the possibility of targeting more edge rushers before the trade deadline, Harbaugh said, "I think so," before pivoting into typical coach speak about ramping up reps for guys already in the building. Still, even that small admission suggests the Ravens might not be done dealing. They cleared cap space with the Oweh move, around $7 to $8 million, and they might just be looking to reinvest that into someone who can bring immediate impact. So who steps up in the meantime? That's where things get interesting. As of now, no new pass rusher has been brought in. Instead, the Ravens added Alohi Gilman in the deal with LA, along with a late-round pick swap. That tells you they're banking on internal development, at least for now. Rookie Trenton Simpson is a name to watch. He played a lot of outside linebacker at Clemson and was one of the top-graded defenders in that role. He's fast, he's physical, and this could be the opportunity he's been waiting for. Still, we have to wonder, did Oweh check out mentally before the trade? Because if you know you're not coming back next season, if you've already made peace with the idea of leaving, does that affect how hard you play? How focused you are? These are real human factors that go beyond X's and O's. And maybe that's what we saw on the field. Someone going through the motions, waiting for the next chapter. That chapter has now arrived. For the Ravens, the reality is harsh. Through 5 games, they've given up 37 or more points in 4 of them. 20 offensive drives over the past 2 weeks have produced only 2 punts from opposing teams. That's not bend-don't-break defense. That's bend and collapse. It's hard to watch, and it's even harder to justify. Injuries are part of the story too. Lamar Jackson's status remains uncertain with a hamstring issue, and the list of players on the injury report continues to grow. Zay Flowers, Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Patrick Ricard, Kyle Hamilton, and others are all dealing with something. That's left Baltimore in survival mode, just trying to limp into the bye week without things spiraling completely out of control. And just to pile on, they've got the Rams next, a team that's also coming off a tough loss, but for very different reasons. While Baltimore got stomped by Houston, the Rams lost a heartbreaker to the Niners in a game they very well could have won. And with LA clicking on offense, Matthew Stafford leading the league in passing yards, Puka Nacua tearing it up at receiver, Kyren Williams making noise in the run game. This is not the matchup you want when your defense can't stop anyone and your quarterback might not be available. We've seen this before. When teams are down, when offenses are struggling, when a coach is looking to get things back on track, they circle the Ravens on the calendar. Because right now, Baltimore is the cure for every offense's problems. That's what the tape shows. That's what the numbers say. And unless something drastic changes, the Ravens could be staring at 1 win and 6 losses going into the bye. While the Odafe Owa trade might have been the headline, it's far from the only issue the Ravens are dealing with right now. This team is in a full-blown identity crisis. What was once considered one of the most physically dominant and mentally tough franchises in the league is now playing timid football. The defense doesn't know who it is, the offense can't stay healthy, and the coaching decisions are starting to raise serious questions. It's not just about execution anymore. It's about effort, leadership, and direction. The pieces are scattered, and no one seems to know how to put them back together. Take the defense, for example. Baltimore has long prided itself on being one of the nastiest units in the league. Whether it was Ray Lewis barking in the huddle or Terrell Suggs coming off the edge like a heat-seeking missile, you knew what Ravens' defense meant. But this version? It's soft. It's reactive. It's passive. They're playing off coverage on 3rd and short. They're blowing assignments. They're getting bullied at the line of scrimmage. And maybe most concerning, there's no vocal leader stepping up in the middle of the storm. Roquan Smith was supposed to be that guy. But even he hasn't been himself, and now he's dealing with an injury. Injuries are no doubt part of the problem, but they don't excuse everything. Yes, Lamar Jackson missed the last game and might miss this one. Yes, Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton have been banged up. But the Ravens still have enough talent on the field to not be getting blown out the way they are. It's not about missing 1 or 2 starters. It's the attitude, the energy. This team looks emotionally drained, and it's only week 6. You can't have that when the season is slipping through your fingers. Now, let's talk about the offensive line, because that unit has been a disaster. Against the Texans, it was like a turnstile. Ronnie Stanley is clearly still dealing with lingering effects from previous injuries. Joe Noteboom, who stepped in, looked completely overmatched, racking up multiple whiffs in the first half alone. Inside, it's not much better. Andrew Voorhees, Daniel Falale, and even Tyler Linderbaum are struggling. And when your offensive line is collapsing, it doesn't matter who's under center. Cooper Rush is not Lamar Jackson, and if he's getting pressured every other drop back, the offense is going nowhere. You'd think with Derrick Henry in the backfield, Baltimore would at least be able to control the ground game. But even that's been a letdown. Henry had 15 carries for 33 yards against Houston. That's not on him. That's on the blocking. There were no holes, no leverage, no push. When you're running straight into defensive tackles in the backfield, you're not controlling the pace. You're just surviving. And survival football is not winning football. So now, heading into a matchup against a Rams team that's better than most expected, the Ravens are caught in a no-man's land. If they win, maybe it buys them some time, some belief, a small spark heading into the bye. But if they lose and fall to 1 win and 5 losses, then the noise gets louder, the pressure builds, and serious questions start getting asked about the direction of this franchise. And the Rams? They're not the kind of opponent that's going to give you a break. Despite a couple of frustrating losses, This is a team that's shown they can move the ball, score points, and compete with the best. Matthew Stafford has been lights out, even if the results haven't always matched the performance. Puka Nacua is playing like a seasoned pro, racking up yards and making key catches week after week. Even without a fully unlocked tight end group, the Rams have figured out how to stay explosive and dangerous. Their biggest problem? The kicking game. 4 blocked kicks in 5 games is the kind of stat that makes special teams coaches lose sleep. That's not a fluke. That's a pattern, and the kind of thing that could cost you games you otherwise should win. The Rams know it. Their fans know it. And if the Ravens are smart, they'll try to exploit it. But you can't rely on special teams to carry you. You have to show up in the trenches. You have to win battles. You have to want it more. Right now, it doesn't feel like the Ravens are that team. Baltimore's path to victory is narrow. They need to grind the clock, dominate time of possession, and keep the ball away from Stafford and that offense. That means running the ball effectively, converting on 3rd down, and playing mistake-free football. And that's assuming Cooper Rush can step in and do the basics without turning the ball over or taking unnecessary sacks. The margin for error is razor thin. Defensively, the Ravens need someone, anyone, to step up. Whether it's Trenton Simpson off the edge or Nate Wiggins in the secondary, playmakers need to emerge. The unit has allowed teams to go up and down the field with ease, barely forcing punts and getting shredded in the red zone. If that continues, it's going to be another long afternoon. Even the vibes on the sideline are off. Every time the camera pans to the Ravens bench, it's a sea of frustrated faces, coaches yelling, players sulking, communication breaking down. There's no swagger, no belief. And while that can change quickly in the NFL, it usually takes a spark, one game, one drive, one hit that flips the energy. The question is, who's going to be the one to light that match? Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. The NFL rumor mill is heating up once again, and this time it revolves around one of the league's most electrifying wide receivers. Amari Cooper, a name synonymous with clutch catches and explosive speed, has reportedly made waves in the free agency circuit. Sources close to the situation suggest that Cooper has turned down a contract renewal with the Buffalo Bills, sending shockwaves through a fan base that had grown accustomed to his big play ability on the field. Instead, whispers from league insiders indicate that the star receiver has set his sights on Baltimore, choosing the Ravens as his next potential landing spot. The move, if confirmed, would mark a stunning shift in the balance of power in the AFC, raising eyebrows across the NFL. Cooper, who has consistently been a top target in critical moments, could bring the kind of offensive firepower Baltimore has been seeking to complement their dynamic quarterback play. While the Bills reportedly presented an enticing offer to keep Cooper in Buffalo, sources suggest that the allure of joining the Ravens, with a combination of championship aspirations and a strong supporting cast, may have been too tempting to resist. The rumors are still swirling, with no official announcement yet from the team or player representatives, but insiders say the deal could be finalized sooner rather than later. Fans and analysts alike are already speculating about the potential impact of Cooper's decision. Could this signal a new era for the Ravens offense? Or will Buffalo scramble to find a replacement capable of filling the void left by one of the league's most reliable receivers? Social media is buzzing, with fan accounts dissecting every possible angle, from salary cap implications to the chemistry Cooper might forge with Baltimore's offensive squad. As the NFL offseason continues to unfold, one thing is clear. Amari Cooper's next move is not just a transaction. It's a story that could redefine the upcoming season. Rumor or reality, the prospect of Cooper donning the Ravens' purple and black has already set the football world alight with speculation. Whether this is a bold gamble or a strategic masterstroke, the excitement surrounding Cooper's potential switch shows just how volatile and thrilling the league's landscape can be during free agency. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.